hoping that I won't stay another week without uploading a video. So I thought about bringing up a topic that I've kind of been lingering on for a while. So as you guys know, there's been this rumor floating around that there's a Naruto Storm 5 or Storm-like game that is being made. I even made a video about this very same thing. By the way, a little bit of a fun fact, I made a bet with someone that a Hunter x Hunter game is also coming out. This one I'm a little less confident because I don't follow Hunter x Hunter that heavily, and I'm not too familiar with the licensing history of this IP, especially in the realm of video gaming. But there have been a few clues that something may be in the works. Honestly, I'm okay with being completely wrong about this, but I'm certain that a Naruto Storm 5 is coming. What I'm not certain about is when it's coming out. Now, recently, there have been a few owls, some parrots screeching in anger and anxiety about the game's lack of news. People have been tagging and calling out Senju Japan regarding the lack of updates on this game. In fact, not so long ago, there were even some events such as Anime Expo. Bandai even booked an event there. I think there was also a Naruto to Boruto event that happened sometime around the mid-end of July, and absolutely nothing was revealed. Because of this, people are starting to raise their eyebrows, wondering when exactly will we hear anything about Storm 5? Is it even coming out in the first place? Were we duped? Now, before I comment on this, I'm just gonna say this. If tomorrow this video gets announced, you can ignore this video entirely. However, as of right now, while normally I like to start off my counter arguments by saying, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. This time, I can't really say the same. This really isn't something that people should be surprised about. Like, genuinely speaking, what the fuck were you guys expecting? Did you guys really think that the game would be announced the second Senju Japan leaked its existence, even though all he said was that the game was going to be announced this year? Not the next day, not weeks from now, not a month from now, not even in any specific event, just that it would be this year. And here's a little fun fact about years. They have 12 months, meaning that for all we know, the game could be announced on New Year's Eve and nothing Senju said would be remotely wrong whatsoever. The truth is, there's really not a lot we can go off of regarding its announcement date, and I say this because I think even Senju isn't sure about this. I don't mean that in the sense that he doesn't know when it's planned to be announced, because he might know. What I don't think he knows is whether or not the dates could be changed, because this kind of stuff happens all the time, especially when they're still in the production phase. Stuff gets delayed, pushed back, even at times completely revamped, if not cancelled. Hell, this year alone, CyberConnect 2 delayed the announcement of one of their titles, which was initially planned to be revealed in February according to Matsuyama, only then get delayed to March. So because of this, I really don't think Senju is in the position to share any information regarding specific dates, especially when the last time he did this, it did not go as planned. Tengen was a character that we all thought would be released as DLC earlier in this year, but he got delayed pretty hard actually. According to Senju, it's because the game did better than they initially predicted, so they decided to order additional DLC content and delay Tengen's release to line up with the rest of the paid DLC cast. Those aren't the only examples of CyberConnect 2 delaying releases. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot was initially meant to come out in 2019 but came out in 2020. Storm 4 was definitely initially meant to come out in 2015 but then came out in 2016 due to a lot of factors. It was kind of a production fiasco. In fact, given how Senju has been teasing his Storm 5 since sometime around the beginning of 2022, with earlier teasers back in 2021 for anyone who's been paying attention, including myself, I wouldn't be surprised if leaking the game's existence is less sensitive than leaking its actual release or announcement date. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, y'all need to relax. In fact, it may be your only choice, because if you want my genuine opinion, I honestly think that the game probably isn't going to get any official announcement until sometime around the end of the year during Jump Festa. Maybe there will be a jump scan revealing the game's existence. Other than that, if you think the game's gonna get revealed next week or something like that, you might as well give up on that, because I really don't think that will be the case. In fact, in all honesty, as saddened as this is, I'm not even sure if the game is even gonna come out in 2023. I say this because Senju confirmed during an interview that the game was likely going to get released during the fall of 2023, and it might. It seems to line up with the past release dates, but with how scattered these production cycles can be, and also the fact that the game's promotion will likely be aligned with the anime series as well, and if anything causes the anime or manga series to delay any future events, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we heard news that the game will only be released in 2024. That's one of the downsides of video games based on anime IPs. It's really hard for them to stand on their own. They need to abide by other demands and schedules from original source materials, and if there's one thing we've learned during the last 2 years of dealing with the pandemic, you never really know what outside factors can end up disrupting the entire production plan. And yeah, it sucks, but there's really nothing we can do about it, and that's definitely nothing Century Japan can do. If anything, the fact that he has even revealed as much as he has is kind of a miracle, and right now there's nothing we can do besides waiting. Thankfully, I have no trouble waiting, especially when I have 10,000 hours, like literally 10,000 hours of VTuber streams that I need to catch up with. So last year, I made this challenge that involved both writing stories and studying Japanese. This has been on hold pretty much ever since around August of last year, and I've been unable to get back to doing both those things. While with writing stories, it doesn't bother me too hard that I put it on hold, but learning Japanese, it has always bothered me how much I scale back my time reading the books. However, I'm kind of getting back to doing it right now. In fact, now's the best time to do it because back then, one minor inconvenience I had was having to split the screen in my laptop. Sometimes when I had two separate textbooks or pages open, other times when I had a YouTube video open as well. However, this is no longer an issue now that I have my multi-monitor setup, so I can open a few different windows with their own pages open in case I need to access certain pieces of information. And as per usual, I have an anime girl playing in the background, which can barely be counted as a distraction because they're speaking Japanese with no subtitles, so I can barely even understand what they're saying. Even if I do get distracted, all that means is that for a few seconds, I'm paying closer attention to what they're doing and listen to them speaking Japanese, which might actually be beneficial to my end goal regardless. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling about shit that's unrelated to this video. Point is, find something to do while we wait, because in all likelihood, we're probably not gonna hear anything until the end of the year. In the meantime, hope you're doing well.